what World War I trench fighting really looked like. Fascinating colorized pictures bring the horror of the war to end all wars to life. Fascinating new pictures show the horrific realities of World War I, in color. Jon Wilkinson's new book, The Great War Illustrated in Color, shows readers the heartbreaking scenes of warfare in impressive detail. Carefully colorized images reveal the intimidating sights of the main assault ships used by the Royal Navy, the bodies of soldiers strewn in perilous trenches and troops advancing through barbed wire to attack British forces. I hope to project to the readers what these soldiers would have seen with their own eyes, Mr. Wilkinson explained. Adding color takes the reader back to these places and gives them a sense of what it would have been like. Various items that litter the trenches such as bullets, pocket watches, rifle bolts and even fragments of clothing can be colorized, as otherwise they could have been lost in a black and white image. The book highlights details of the disastrous naval Zeebrugge raid of 1918 and show the intimidating side of the main assaults used by the Royal Navy in the First World War, overseen by Vice Admiral Sir Roger Keyes, HMS Vindictive, which was used to damage the stone mole at Zeebrugge and sinking the smaller ships in the channels at Ostend. Another striking image from the book shows readers the deck of HMS Vindictive, with its specially constructed gangplanks which were used to lower the naval officers onto the mole. Other shots capture an aerial view of the aftermath of the infamous Zeebrugge raid on April 23, 1918, showing the British ships being hurried through the entrance of the canal. Two portraits show the imperious-looking Kaiser Wilhelm II, the German Emperor, and Paul von Hindenburg, the General Feldmarschall, are in the book, as well as comparative shots demonstrating the bodies of soldiers killed in the trenches and troops advancing through barbed wires to attack the British forces. The Zeebrugge raid of 1918 was an attempt made by the Royal Navy at blockading the Belgian port of Zeebrugge. This port was a vital base for the German forces as it held their U-boats and small ships. An initial attempt to raid the port was planned for April 2, 1918. However, this was cancelled in the final days before its intended date due to a changed wind direction which would have foiled their plan of making a smokescreen to camouflage the ships as they approached. An approach often used by the Royal Navy was to sink so-called block ships intentionally in a bid to prevent a channel, river or canal from being used by another force. Of the Royal Navy's 3 block ships, 2 were placed in the narrowest region of the Bruges Canal, and a submarine was used to link the mole to the shore, which was hoped to have trapped the German garrison. Unfortunately, the block ships were sunk in the wrong location, enabling the Germans to reopen the canal to their submarines during a high tide. This limited the number of German casualties to just 24, with the British facing nearly 600 casualties. The disaster did not stop Britain from reporting the raid as a success, and 8 Victoria Crosses were awarded for gallantry in the most extreme circumstances. The Hindenburg Line was built by the German forces in the latter stages of 1916, running from Verdun to the border of France and Belgium. Despite multiple attacks of the line throughout 1917, the offense wasn't successful until September. This was known as the 100 Days Offensive.